right, ladies and gentlemanians, welcome back to VLE Challengers Cup 2 Ascension. We're ready to get into the action here. We got corner campers versus TIMEZ. A little bit late to the action here as we had to get an emergency substitute for the side of TIMEZ. With that being said, looking at the Group A bracket, TIMEZ did agree to drop a map over to corner campers due to the last minute change needed. So we're still going to get this series underway, but more importantly, on the caster's desk with me today is Storch. How we doing today, man?
Hey guys, everything's going great. You know, excited to cast this match. First map, we've got Lotus. Now, this is going to be really tough for the side of TIMEZ. Starting on defense, already down a map. Really got to see them claw back.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely coming into a series like this, starting at a disadvantage. This is where, you know, you're going to see that resilience, right? I mean, this is the opening match as well for both these teams. So, I mean, obviously, corner campers already sitting in a comfortable spot, but TIMEZ, this is where we're going to have to see what they can do when they're down but not out.
Yeah, I think this really does add a sort of do or die scenario, because this group seems so stacked so far. Going into that lower bracket, you're gonna have to reface a team, either the winner of this or Minji. All of these teams just looking so strong.
Yep. Yeah, and you mentioned the Minji as well, because honestly, looking at it there, whoever wins this series, which obviously, I mean, you know, it's looking maybe in favor of corner campers already, looking at the bracket, but whoever wins this series is going up against that Minji squad. And although we did have a couple criticisms of how many rounds they dropped against the visualized squad, it's obvious that Minji has got good synergy, right? They've got some good things they're playing towards, some game plans here. So definitely a team to look out for in this Group A bracket, in my opinion. And so seeing that, you know, after we see this opening matchup, we're getting ready to see who's going to be the first people to, you know, have that chance of qualifying into that playoffs, right? Because this match here, the victor from this match actually decides what that's going to look like. MJ versus CC or MJ versus TZ, and we'll get to see who our first qualifier is from that. And then bottom bracket, we've got Visualize, a squad that we had, you know, we had a lot of criticisms about the initiator gameplay. About how Kuni was kind of left on an island so many times throughout that gameplay. So I'm thinking that they're going back to the drawing board, fixing up those things that they had, the discrepancies in their first series, and making a good bottom bracket run there. So, I mean, on both ends of this, whether it's a win or a loss for either of these teams, I think they're going up against some pretty tough opponents, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, one really interesting thing about this group is on the sides of CC and Minji, should they meet, Luck and Virgo, or sorry, Nakamura and Virgo, they used to play on the same team. They were both on GM for a while. Really interesting to see that sort of potential rivalry. Yeah.
And speaking of rivalry, I mean, I love to see the rivalries come through in the server, and that's one that I hope to see. You know, we might see that CC versus MJ matchup, and honestly, if we do, that's going to be one for the books for sure in this Group A. But folks, we are ready to get into the action, so welcome to VLE Challengers Cup 2, Day 3. To be a challenger, you must always be in flow state. And to become a champion, you must ascend. Travel the road from challenger to champion. Go beyond your comfort zone or fall. Over here towards mid. From the shadows came through, but right now, Hoopa with such nice shots into the round, a fourth. Going through U-Haul, caught by the Cypher trip, that's 3 hit. And right now, Ekro looking to push through. He gets 4 on the round. Knights gets too far ahead of it. But there it is, the spray transfer comes through. The operator's close range. Going for the next one, and there it is. Shots come through. It's enough to take the diffuser down. And right now, Mango's playing around it very well. He gets all of them. Jadico. Ooh, the spray transfer comes through, and that's 3 for Jadico. Score here. Shots are going to come through the lineup. Ooh, he gets the clutch. There it is. All right, now it's time for the map veto here. Now, you did mention we're starting things off on Lotus and corner campers on attack here. And we were talking about this prior to coming into this matchup, Storch, about how Lotus is one of those maps where you want to start on attack. You want to get a look at the defensive setups. You want to set the pace and tonality of the game. It is an attacker-sided map after all, right? And so I think that corner campers are really looking to get aggressive coming into this series.
Yeah, and I think we've seen hints of maybe some experimental comps coming out from corner campers. I'm really excited to see if we got that here, because on Lotus, I think there's so many different ways that you can attack that these off-meta comps are like more usable than they are on other maps.
Yep. And I mean, with that coming into play, I mean, we might see some Chamber. I don't know. I'd love to see that, to be honest with you. I think some Chamber would be really cool. I think Chamber's great on Lotus. He's got some really good ideas, and knowing corner camper styles of trying to be innovative, I think that, you know, with Chamber being kind of niche in today's meta, in my opinion, I could see them pulling him out.
Chamber mentioned, we got to get Wild Ray up in here.
Yeah. Gotta get Wild Ray on the cast. Here we go.
We're seeing a little bit of an off-meta pick here from CC, as we mentioned. Looking to run Astra, Breach, Raze, Fade, and Cypher. I quite like the look of this comp. I think the Astra pairs very well with the Raze, the Fade as well, Breach, all great agents to pair with Raze. My question is it maybe too much to dedicate to one agent, one player? Can VLEC take those 3 util sets with him and run with it?
Yeah, you make a really good point there, actually, with the heavy prioritization on the Astra. I think that, you know, we've seen it before, right? We saw AG playing with the Demon 1 on the Astra, and it definitely can have its success here due to its synergy with Raze, right? But, I mean, we've already got that Breach and Fade, who's going to be playing around the Raze a lot, I presume, right, on this roster. Such a dynamic trio there. I usually expect the Omen to come in here, right? You know, you have those flashes, big AoE. I don't mind the Astra, but I'm not too sure how it would play out for them here.
Yeah, and on the side of TIMEZ, we see Deadlock comp coming out, solo Sentinel Deadlock. I don't think we get this that often, and neither team opting for the Viper. Going to be a really fun one to watch.
Yeah. And I see that they're really prioritizing playing around those duelists on both ends by mitigating that Viper, right? On the side of the Neon, you have that Fade Breach, and on the side of the Raze, you've got that Breach Fade as well, on both sides. And what I like about the Neon on this map, I want to talk about that real quick. Raze used to be the biggest duelist pick on this map by far across multiple different leagues, right? And then we saw that Neon really just completely shine through the cracks, and it's so vibrant these days. So I'm excited to see how this team utilizes it with that Deadlock Sentinel in place, because I think there's some really good things you can get out on attack with that. You know, you've got your Neon stuns, but you've got the Deadlock Gravnet that works really well with that Breach Aftershock. There's so many really interesting, you know, niche synergies with this Neon Deadlock comp that you usually don't get to see on this map.
Yeah, and on that point with Neon, it's such a mechanical ceiling agent that we haven't seen since First Strike Jet, really. With the right clicks, the updrafts, the 8-second smokes. It's just such a mechanical agent. And that's why we see regions like China play it so often. And so I think it has such a high skill ceiling, and it's just going to dominate the meta going forward.
Yeah. I totally agree, and we see it on Sunset as well, right? I mean, just Neon all over the place. And before, the biggest consensus, right, was why are we playing Neon on Cypher maps? Cypher was one of the biggest counters to Neon, on the defensive half at least, that we've seen. But just the way that Neon's movement works these days, and the way that you're able to get around these chokes, and just the comps that they're playing too. I mean, on Sunset, you've got that Sova to help deal with that, but here on Lotus, you've got that Breach to help deal with that. So, you know, I'm really excited to see how they utilize it. But on the flip end, for TIMEZ, I'm really looking to see how the Omen is utilized in juxtaposition to this Astra, because that's one thing that I think you mentioned that first when we got into Agent Select, is why is this Astra being utilized over the Omen? Why do you think that is for corner campers?
Yeah, so the way I see it, Astra really helps on this map, getting those inserts, getting a lurk. Like, Astra and Cypher can work up one side of the map while the mob go the other way, that being the breach deadlock, or sorry, the breach fade and raise on the side of CC. I just think it's so useful to be able to place those smokes from anywhere, to be able to get those sucks from anywhere. Your raise is sort of never left without util until you're like, they're in a 1vx situation. Such a versatile agent. It's just not played on this map due to, recent buffs making it better. But we haven't had it due to like us not being able to see that being played yet.
Yeah.
Just have to wait until VCT comes back, I think. But I do think that Astra will re-solidify herself in the meta.
I 100% agree with you, especially with the 5 stars back. I mean, we got the 5 stars back, and she's better than ever than she was before, and so I'm excited to see how they utilize her here. One moment, folks, as we do have one person that got disconnected as we tried to hop into the server here, so we're waiting for them to get connected back, but we will get into the action shortly.
I do also see a potential sheriff buy coming from this Astra here.
And from the Neon, and that surprises me. I'm not used to Neon on a sheriff.
I think it's got to be just pre-round, maybe got a new skin, something like that. Yeah, we've got the shorties and goods coming out now. Okay, yeah, that confirms it.
Yep. Like a little skin shopping.
Robbie, I have to ask, how do you think that TIMEZ are going to do with their main scan initiator being a sub? Usually that's a role being an emergency sub, not even any practice with the team. That's usually such a role, like, requires a lot of drilling, a lot of communication, a lot of synergy between the duelist and them. How do you think that that's going to play into the outcome of the skin?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. First, I want to preface this with, I feel like that scan initiator role is one of the most important, especially in comps like this, to get success out of your duelist and get that active information during that mid-round. But I'm going to be honest with you, it holistically depends on the player, right? I mean, we saw in our very first series of this tournament, CJ was actually substituting in for Visualize. What an incredible player. And I mean, he topped the leaderboard both those games and also had incredible impact on the agent he was playing. Granted, it was Yoru for the first map, and I'm blanking on what he was on for the second map. So I'm really looking to see who Hunter is as a player here. I think that he's going to solidify what his identity is in this tournament, because he's on Red Panda Gaming, right? And they haven't, as a squad, we haven't seen them yet in this tournament. They haven't made their debut yet. So this is where he gets to do that. And I think it holistically depends on who he is as a player, for sure. I think that given what I know about Red Panda Gaming, it should be good. Because what I know, they pick good players, they make sure they have good synergy in the server, and knowing someone like Hunter, who is really passionate about the game, I'm sure he's going to put in some good work in this series.
Yeah, excited to see it. And as the player that we were missing reconnects, looks like we might be able to get started on this game.
Ooh, there he is. He's moving. I remember in the it was the grand finals of Cup 1 actually, and I remember Ekiro had got disconnected one of the rounds, and we were just sitting there waiting for him to move.
I remember that. That was a long time that we started playing without Ekiro.
Yep.
No, the map ultimately went the way of Zeta.
Yeah, which honestly, that was crazy. Winning a map in a 4v5 is wild.
It was great, great performance from Zeta.
Too soon. A little soreness left from that one. Oh my goodness.
Zeta deserved that cup win. They just mechanically such skilled players. I don't know if we've gotten a statement yet on that forfeit from that first one, but if Zeta does continue in this cup, you've got to think that they're the team to beat.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And speaking of team to beat, folks, we're ready to get into the action here. Corner Campers versus TIMEZ. Starting out with this pistol. And we're here. Now, one thing I look to see is kind of something similar to what Celestial Titans were giving us here on this very map. Showing very heavy pressure on one extremity, looking for the fight elsewhere. and then committing off the back of that, but it looks like they want to make an immediate committal here on this pistol. And you see, Jesus loves you. That he does. Got the mesh barrier up, ready to go. Grav net coming right on through. It doesn't stop much, but you see it's a little bit fragmented here. Just off that mesh barrier alone. They're trying to break it, but paint shells of Valk does land on to the deadlock backside. XD trying to make it quick here. Quick work of the retake. Orichirisu taking down Sativa, and right now that leaves us in a 3v4.
And it's such a clean sight take from corner campers as well. Just getting up in there, Valk all the way bend. His teammate's still trying to break the wall. Just great hit. Now with the retake, Fade Eye thrown early. Omen spotted. They just can't get in the sight.
Last player standing.
And the round goes the way of corner campers.
Yeah, that was a beautiful setup there from TIMEZ. Very disciplined, very well done.
Yeah, and you have to give it to corner campers though, just pushing all the way. They've realized there isn't that Cypher. They're not playing against a Cypher, they can hit the site. And the deadlock wall, it just gets broken. And it looks like CC are gearing up for another hit of the same kind.
And this time, right off the bat, it's actually a full committal too. They had that Cypher lurking a little bit towards A last time. And they're trusting this deadlock on this C site solo. And this time, once again, Valk getting ahead of the utility here. He's going to try to force out that entrenched position with the paint shells, and that he does. This time, not going to die to it. Playing around it a little wiser here, just trying to stall for the rest of his team to rotate. Prowler comes right on through, confirms the positioning. And Sativa locked down on the space, completely denying any take-throughs while that spike gets planted.
Bring them down. Over there.
Yeah, and TIMEZ is grouped for the retake.
Over there.
They've spammed Mizusuki down to 1 HP.
It's good damage so
Going
far.
everywhere.
Yeah, they took 2 down here. Only 22 HP left on Hunter, but
Now,
it's good damage.
Mizusuki, she's also on 6 HP. Really could have died from that door player. Feels like TIMEZ sort of rushing their retakes a little bit. Those Fade Eyes going out a little bit too early. I'd really like to see them flank a bit more. Especially on that save round. Such a great strat to get those CT and then flank positions, try to pinch them. Can really cause a lot of stress. Maybe could have gotten 1 or 2 more rifles. And we've seen corner campers opting for more straight sight hits, which I haven't seen much of on Lotus. Lotus seems to be a lot of like work towards the A side, but no, they're just in B. And Valk already pushing into breakable.
Oh, wow. And the C's nade combo completely takes down XD there. Over towards breakable. And now already a man disadvantage coming into this for TIMEZ. And the retake's going to be a lot harder, but NRY does take one down in the process. Sativa trading him out makes things much harder. Sativa with the second one. Right now, Hunter and Deadlock looking to make things go into this one. Flashpoint forcing them off of the site. Spy came in hand, but right now it's looking like a bonus conversion from corner campers. And as they go for this, we're going to create a different narrative. Gravwell forcing them off still. I mean, it's just impossible.
They're unaware of the player breakable as well. They might get caught off.
Yep.
And he does. Wow.
Yep.
That hit,
I mean,
so drilled from CC. We saw the Fade and Raze scaling just together. Fade util, perfect there.
Yep.
I mean, just looked so good. All their shots are landing.
I love the way they're playing that post plan as well with the stall. We were talking about what's that Astra going to look like coming into this, prioritizing that with the Raze, and it just looks so good. You have that extra layer of stalling, you know, with that Gravwell.
I mean, it can help so much. You see the stars already placed, all 5 of them.
No escape.
Just ready to smoke. Have no idea where the hit's coming from. Deadlock wall going down now. Corner campers seems be wanting to hit this C site, but the rotates are coming through, and they're ready for a door push.
Yeah. And I love how Mizuzuki is the one that's trying to sniff out what the reaction is going to be. Because you see, corner campers are very drilled about this. They're going for that early aggression, but they realize they're going to start creating reactions to this just from conditioning alone. So Mizuzuki's the one on the flank looking for that. And she's done a great job of it, dishing the information to the team from elsewhere. And that's why they're not committing onto the site this time.
Oh.
Hunter landing with the
Virgo
eagle.
goes down.
Yeah. What a shot. Oh, and a dink off the back of it.
Red Panda Gaming showing up in every game so far.
Right? Unfortunately, Mizuzuki on the lurk towards A goes down to the Neon, but Chirisu here towards B main. Ready for a little bit of a bait and switch here, but he goes down off the peak. Can he get him? Oh, it's all good. We weren't watching. Nonetheless, we still have a 3v3 retake here. Times gonna get their first chance of coming into this one. Yep.
Did he see the raise in bull? 5 HP on Val.
Last player standing.
It's a very tall task at hand. Does get one, but Jesus
Wow.
loves you. Is gonna get the trade, and that's the first round on the board for Times.
You know, the past few rounds, Times has seemed very shaky. And this round it looked a lot better. I think a few of these rotates came out really early. We saw Fade rotating early towards C. Maybe that was a bit fast, but on a save round, you can't really judge that. It was just very well played for the retake.
Yeah.
Unfortunate whiff from Orochimizu. Or Orochirisu.
Gotta go.
And towards an A hit
This
here,
time.
they're gonna run into the Neon Fade combo.
Oh my God, look how aggressive he is too. They're both right here at the choke point. The refight gonna come right on through, and this is the first look we have of it, and it works very well. A very
both
good call
drop.
here from corner campers. XD not ready to follow up on it. Flashpoint gonna have to be invested. Spy cam not broken quite yet, but Prowler lands right onto him. Trying to look for the damage, but so far they haven't spanned him out, and there it is, Oxy taking him right down.
Now Deadlock ready for the sight hit.
Barrier deployed.
Gonna put his wall down towards tree. Trying to isolate that one. They're just gonna be in.
Last player standing.
And he falls.
Oh, he was ahead of the paranoia though. Orochirisu was ready with the paranoia from the tree exit, but bit of a miscommunication there from Times. Corner camper landing that fourth and a flawless.
Yeah, I think that was just played way too rushed. They played way too forward. Weren't ready for any retaliation off the util. I think at the point in time where you see Deadlock trying to hold that site, they need to save. The question right now is how long until they opt for a timeout.
Deadlock is mine.
And we've also, Robbie, we've talked about this Astra and how Astra has all this lurk potential, but corner campers seem to be really using her to just push the sites.
Mm-hmm. And I like that too, because they still have that Cypher that can go for the lurks as well, but you know, we might deeper into these attack rounds see some of that Astra coming out. And it makes sense too, right? Because you want that player, you know, who's got the smokes in hand, who's probably going to be putting stuns down on site, helping people out, be in tune with the comms during the execs. So it looks like that's how they're utilizing it here, but I mean, look at the ultimates invested. Just no space left for Times to even flood back into this one. Spike gonna go down here, but Aftershock gets him really low here. 1 HP on Oxy, and he still gets out. Jesus loves you with the Sheriff landing on a Virgo, but Sativa trading things off on XD, but he gets one through the smoke here. And NRY on that Neon coming right on through. Showstopper invested, and Valk looking to make some damage happen. He gets 2 off the back of it.
Body block.
And that's-
Hey,
wow.
not this snack.
3 on the round for Valk, and a 5th on the board for corner campers.
Say something?
That was
Sorry,
very well played
they're
from
still
corner
ringing.
campers. You saw that C push, played it really fast, and even though Times were ready for it, it just crumbled. And then we see Mizuzuki as well. She's playing up towards that B. She's identified that they like to play for that door post plant. She's trying to eliminate that possibility.
Come on,
Did a very good job of it.
satchel out.
Looking for a fast B here. Raise satchel up that. And Times is tripled up C. Might see a door fight.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the first time we're getting that look of this mound
And they
aggression here
reach out.
from TIMEZ. Might be correctly placed though, fighting right through the door here, as you said. And one does get taken down so far, and that's it. The breach ult coming onto the site, and all of them getting hit by it. There it is. But the lurk from Mizuzuki is so good from late main. She has done the job this round. Almost landing 3, but Val left in a 1v2 scenario. Low HP on XD, so it's possible. Spike already planted, so Defender's the one with the task here. Gonna have to go for that defuse. Aftershock to come through, force the positioning out. He does get the first one in the spray transfer. Oh my goodness!
Wow.
How's he gotten away with that one?
What did we just see?
Oh wow!
What a play from VLEC.
I lost my breath. I wasn't even ready for that one. So good.
And VLEC really feeling it right now.
Yep.
Might see him push a little bit deeper. I am excited to see how this is going to play out on defense. I think Corner Camper's comp just looks really good for taking that Rebel control.
And those plays right there, I mean, that's what keeps the confidence going. TIMEZ on a huge back foot coming into this one. Down but not out. Orichirisu alone here on the A site with the Sheriff in hand. Definitely going for the comms. Here's a lot of the aggression. You see, breakable fight might be coming out here. Jesus loves you, gonna go for the break. The attention of the Neon called, and you see all of TIMEZ starting to convene towards this A site. No space conceded quite yet. Paint
Look at
shells
this
to come
scaling.
through, flashpoint. Yep.
Corner
He's all the
Campers
way
is
through,
everything.
Val.
And VLEC finds one.
I know exactly.
And that's all she wrote. Orichirisu with the Sheriff. Let's take one down, recovers the rifle, but not enough. Virgo ahead of the hit right there.
Yeah, and I think the main thing that we've seen so far is, in my opinion, the use of server time. It looks like CC really have drilled out all of their hits. Looks very good. And then on the side of TIMEZ, I mean, I think to sort of summarize how that's going, you can talk about that Omen smoke from last round. The one way, just too high. They need to spend some more server time on that, I think. And now,
Sound sensor up.
4 members of Corner Campers pushing onto this C site.
Barrier
Only the
deployed.
deadlock's there. Wall goes down, getting broken. We have rotates coming from Waterfall. Are they gonna hit the site?
And the crazy thing right now is, just from shooting that mesh barrier alone, they have forced so much utility out of this deadlock. I mean, he's got
see a re-
basically nothing.
Reclearing B. Might be able to catch a pick here. Mizuzuki. Spots the Neon. Running back. They're gonna prepare for this A hit here. Rotates coming through already. Are Corner Campers gonna pick up on the fact that they've given that intel? Corner
And Hunter
Campers.
does have full utility here, so he's got a little bit to deal with this, but you're right, Corner Campers with the take coming over towards A. It's going to be a lot to deal with. Only the Sheriff in hand.
Where are you?
Boomba. Can't find one. And Mizuzuki going down. And RY gets that pick. Now he has a
Spike
rifle.
planted.
And spam coming through. Wow. And it's all up to Virgo. Can't quite manage it. And what a save round there
Yeah.
from TIMEZ. Rotates felt a little bit fast, but helped out in the end.
Yeah, and that looked so unlikely too. Just with the fade there alone with the utility and Sheriff. But, I mean, the rotations came pretty quickly, so, you know, TIMEZ used that to their advantage and went for that flood, immediately taking down Corner Campers. It's really good too. They had a couple rifles in hand too to deal with that.
I think the
That
players
spam
are
over there
talking
too.
about that round. Yeah, NRY. NRY comes out of Breakable, gets the pick on Mizuzuki, gets that rifle, comes over and spams down onto Oxy.
Yep.
Really good round from NRY, helping his team secure that round. It looks like we're prepared for a triple push A here from TIMEZ. But corner campers all towards C.
Face your fear!
And Mizuzuki able to find Orochimaru on that lurk. All of corner campers now into the C site, playing for that same retake position that we've seen round and round again. The door fight might cause some disruption to this. Breach ready to flash.
Ooh.
Falls.
Last player standing. Team Ace.
The teammates coming through for corner campers there. I mean, the fight was really awkward. I'm not sure exactly what the thought process was going into that retake there, but I'm going to be honest, that deadlock setup towards C is just not working. It usually looks like it's either really late due to, you know, pre-round miscommunication, or they're just not entirely sure how they want to stop and mitigate these pushes, but so far not quite seeing the vision out of the deadlock here. And we still have that annihilation in hand, though, so...
I think we need to see a timeout come out from TIMEZ.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
They really just need to recover. They have all the right ideas, they're just not executing them at the right times.
And Val, Showstopper invested very early into this round. Not going to find anything off the back of it, but this does create a lot of space towards A. But look, Storch, there's 3 from TIMEZ here already.
But the breach ult could see a neon ult coming through. Looks like an RY looking to invest this neon ult. Coming down onto Val. Wow, what a shot from Val. Falls.
Spike planted. Bring them down.
They're ready for the flash. And Hunter dodges. It's gonna hold 2v2 here. No more breach flashes. Fade ult to be invested.
Mark one.
And they do use it. They don't know if they're on the
invested.
bomb, Robbie.
Yeah, I think the aftershock came through to confirm it, though. And that's where the tap comes through, but he doesn't hear it.
Ooh.
Wow.
What a round from Hunter.
Yeah, that was huge.
Getting the pick onto Valk and then, of course, getting that ult, securing that retake.
Last round.
Very well played.
Yep. And what I love about this, too, is before this map, Storch, we talked about how's Hunter going to look as that substitute? Is he really going to hold his own here on TIMEZ? And I definitely think he's, you know, filling the shoes well, just judging off how he's playing with the team.
I think he's been making up for some of the lack of synergy with NRY in just his own solo play. Been using his util very well for himself. We are looking again at the C site, which has seemed like, honestly, the C site has looked abused by corner campers.
Yeah. And I mean, rightfully so. Once again, we have such a passive deadlock setup here. Nothing much to really mitigate any sort of exec at all. And he's just conceding the site again.
Yeah, it's just a
There it
free
is.
site again.
Nothing there.
Oh. Annihilation
Can't
came
quite
through, but
land
got
the deadlock.
nothing.
Hunter getting a pick down. Breach ult coming through. Picks going down Ben.
Spike down.
Both
C.
players are now off site. They've turned it into a 5v2, Robbie.
Yeah. They've honestly started mowing them
Last
down,
player
but
standing.
a couple scary responses there. But the door from Orochimaru to take down Mizuzuki is really good.
Yeah, that was a great
Switching
round for
sides.
TIMEZ, but as one thing I always say when I've lost that round, you know, that tactical round throw to miss that 9-3 curse coming through from corner campers.
Right there.
Gotta believe. We see very principled sort of approach here from corner campers. They've got breach breakable, they're ready to push this rubble down. But it looks like we are going to see a fight here early.
Mm-hmm.
Really interested in seeing Valk's routing here. No satchels first round. The counter breach stun is ready.
find you.
It looks like they're just going to back off.
Ooh.
And corner campers gonna reclaim the space. But all the members
I must wait a
of
moment.
TIMEZ onto C now. We've got Suki and Sativa ready. But
Ooh.
Sativa grab netted and Hunter finds the pick.
That's gonna leave a mark. And we talked about that too, that GravNet on them execs, completely locking down those entrenched positions.
So much util being used though by TIMEZ, they don't have much left to counter the retake.
Go get him.
Yep, and a bit of an overheat over here towards spawn as well. It was enough to take the damage down onto them, and the Boombot landing so much damage. Corner campers have made very light work of this pistol round so far, but the deadlock, the sensor goes down. Right now, both on the reload. Valk looking for a clutch here. Literally 1 HP on Jesus Loves You. Ooh.
And Valk secures the round. Wow.
I mean, Storch, that was rough. That was so hard for him.
Yeah.
Man.
1 HP. If he had clutched that, that would have been insane.
Yep.
Valk got the paint shells back though. And I think now it's time to see if corner campers are gonna prepare for this counter breach stun that they saw last round. I think that's one of the many telling things of a good IGL. Sort of realizing, hey, they're trying to stop our push here. How do we alter this to make it still work?
Right there.
Yep.
Nade C is not able to find anything. TIMEZ now towards C, grabbing that breach orb. They try to stack towards this breach ult early. And they're gonna go into the Cypher setup. Hunter
Looking
trying
for
to
the
find a trip.
tripwires.
Can't
Yeah.
quite. And a lot of time has just been used on that C. And no rotates have pulled through. But to the credit of TIMEZ, they've done a good job of keeping that map control.
Mm-hmm.
Over there.
TIMEZ now scaling up towards A. Gonna run into this Fade Raise. Breach Sun comes through. Valk getting hard pushed. NRY falls. Valk gonna look for more with Hunt with Oxy. Oxy finds one. Collapsing, it's just X now alone on A site. Needs to try and run back and find his teammate.
30 seconds left. Last player standing. Spike down A.
And that's all she wrote. Orochiritsu, classic in hand. Not much really can do but damage here, and that's it. Flawless
Yeah.
there for corner campers, taking him down before he does the damage. Now, as I start to observe this comp more and more by times, just on this attack side alone, there's one thing I noticed that we missed looking at this comp in the agent select, and that's lurk, right? So, you know, you have your Omen who's usually dropping those smokes down. You've got the Paranoia going towards the site, but Deadlock is really the only viable lurk agent in this comp here, and I don't think that Deadlock has a great kit to facilitate their lurk that well, right? That's why you see the Viper, that's why you see the KJ or Cypher so many times on this map. So I noticed that times the way that they compensate for that is on that Deadlock lurk, they let him get that information, and then they bring the rest of the team over to him, because the best thing about a Deadlock is to be with the team on the exits and to set up those sonic sensors for that post-plant utility and to shut down the retakes. So I like to see how they're utilizing this so far. I'm paying a lot of attention to that Deadlock.
Yeah, and Oxy here going for some jump spots has to be careful. His head might get taken off. A little bit of a haircut, if you will.
Ooh. There's communication there. Valk not ready for it.
Virgo's ready. Is he gonna give up another one? But TIMEZ just sitting in main, waiting out seemingly nothing. A smoke. So shaken up, they've given so much time for corner campers to come back to this A site. And now they're rotating back to C. TIMEZ might have found some secret timing tech.
It looks like
30
corner campers are
seconds
so
left.
unsure too, but you know, they're locking down their ground. And that's one of the best case scenarios too. We're not sure where the hit is coming down. Just stay onto the site here, but NRY taking down Virgo here. And right now in a 2v5 scenario, Sativa, Spectre in hand, aggression coming through, but Mizuzuki
Down A. 10 seconds
landing one
left.
down, recovering the Bulldog here on the flank. And right now there's a lot of low HP over there, so it's very viable. Sativa taken down to much lower HP, but we still have the backstab coming through, and that's 2 on the round. Spy cam to come through and cause a little bit more pressure for Hunter, but he gets ahead of the peak.
And 10 bullets in the Vandal for Sativa here.
One enemy
It's
remaining.
one, no more bullets! And Hunter secures the round. 1 HP, 11 health.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
scary.
And on what you said last spy phase with the deadlock and the lurking, really, we talked earlier about how Astra fits into comps and how she can sort of be a lurk, she can sort of be like, give you some more sentinel-like utility. I think a deadlock on this map might need the Astra to lurk with. If not, if you aren't playing like that second sentinel in a cipher. I think there's some missed opportunities here from TIMEZ.
I'll find you.
For sure, yeah. And as the hit comes over here towards the C site, already backing up here, letting Spy Cam do the work, get all the information. Sativa
Face your fear.
looks like they want to try to go for the flood here. The Nightmare invested onto the site. Paranoia comes right on through off the back of the information. Cages pop towards main, distorting any sort of sight lines coming out of that.
Pulling them in.
And right now, it's a 5v5 retake scenario as that spike does go down and get planted.
That was a pretty flawless site take from TIMEZ.
Yep.
Can they get off, play this retake? No, they've planted safe. They've isolated themselves on site. They can't get off.
Retake commencing. Fault line comes through. Roombot to get the information. Valk trying to get things done, but it's not enough. Sativa getting the trade, though. Orichirisu to follow up. Mizuzuki and Virgo also landing one down of their own. And that's the wallbang headshot to come right on through. The flashpoint was enough to get the first shot. And RY does the damage, but it's not enough. Mizuzuki once again taking him down at the end of the round, and Virgo with the defuse, and that's 11 on the board here for corner campers.
And what a flash from Virgo. Seems so prepared to help his teammates out. Really well played. I think every round we've seen him have all, if not the vast majority of his util gray. Like, so well used to help his team. Along with Oxy. Oxy always there to help Valk. Really want to see how this pair between the Oxy and Valk evolves as the tournament goes on.
Yeah.
Looking for a nade C's here. Might be able to get some.
Ooh.
And the nades
Not
missed
sure.
their own.
How did
That Fade got
how
caught.
did he live there? Yeah.
I don't know. And corner campers not too quick to rotate, but they have so much map control that they can get. TIMEZ has given up every piece of the map apart from A main. Looking to go into breakable. Hit B. MOY's ready. Surely the neon ult comes through now. But they're ready for
looks
this.
Yeah. TIMEZ are trying to create a bit of a halt here and put question marks in the eyes of corner campers, but the showstopper to come through already taken down to the overdrive of NRY. Looking for more, but right now, looking to not overheat too much into this one, as they know they are down right now a lot of rounds. So you can't have those overheats, but nonetheless, 4v4, NRY once again taking one down. 30 HP. A little bit of charge left into the tank.
And Virgo
Virgo.
takes him down.
No
Yep.
surprises.
And that's huge. That's that overdrive coming out of this retake, but Deadlock taking one down with the classic there. Does really good damage. Neural Theft gonna spot out Orichirisu here. He's on to the spike, so he's gonna have to go into this one quicker. It's
he's
already
sticking.
halved. Yep,
Wow.
that's it. He took too long on that one.
I think what really went wrong there for
Match point.
TIMEZ was that deadlock wall down onto stairs. We
Yeah.
see how long it just delayed that Omen flank so long. And we also saw NYR, like, he or NRY, he wanted to get active there. He just couldn't. I think we need to see a timeout now. Like, I am very surprised that we have not seen a timeout come out from TIMEZ yet.
Yeah.
We're prepared with this breach ult though. Going to hit the site. Cypher and Astra ready. These could be some huge picks if they could get that Astra.
First one already comes through, and that's the Annihilation, but does not land onto anyone here. But there's going to be a layer 2 to this one. NRY looking for the aggression this time towards CT. Doesn't want to get over-punished into it.
Watch this
Mizuzuki.
breach ult.
Yep, takes him down. The breach ult comes through, as you said, but it's a counter breach ult to come through. Hunter, he's in the middle of all of them. Look at it. It was no man's land too. Jesus loves you, taking down corner campers. All the bodies dropping for the side of TIMEZ.
Wow.
And Miss Suzuki, she has been so good in this map thus far. Orichirisu with the task, gonna have to take the diffuser off, but that's enough. Corner campers.
Defenders win.
Wow.
Wow, and X, we see X's breach ult. He's so prepared for that waterfall push. He's just standing too close to that wall. He misses 3 of them.
Yeah.
Wow, what a map. Really strong showing from corner campers.
Yep. And I will say, I mean, coming into the series, it's a shame we don't get to see more from them, because I think what we just saw was great, as you say. I mean, what a wonderful debut from corner campers. That is exactly how you want to show yourself coming into the tournament. And I mean, it sucks we don't get more maps here, as, the first map was forfeited here, but definitely from both teams, very well fought. But I mean, corner campers, they just had it figured out. I think the lurks from Miss Suzuki were so good on the attack half. And really, honestly, the only silver lining I saw on the side of TIMEZ was the way that they were utilizing that deadlock on the executes. But other than that, I mean, on defense, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. They are giving up so much space with that deadlock. I mean, I want to see that mesh barrier placed a little sooner into the rounds. Let's get double sonic sensors on that site, maybe around Bend. Get a nade or get Raze to play that C site with you and throw that grav net where the Raze is satcheling and just get the paint shells onto them. There's so many different things you can do with this deadlock here, and I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, what really stuck out to me is even just before strats, just the layers of the strats weren't there. Like, even the beginnings. That Omen one way, they could walk under it. They could see perfectly fine. That needs to be drilled. That needs to improve for their match against Visualize.
Yep.
And that match against Visualize that they're going to play, I do think is going to be a close game.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've said that a lot so far this season, and hasn't quite lived up. But Visualize versus TIMEZ, does seem like a close matchup. And you get CC versus Minji, the Virgo versus Nakamura, old GM reuniting. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I'm actually really excited to see that matchup. I'm going to be honest. We have a pretty banger Group A. I'm not going to lie, Storch. The way these opening matches went just gave us something really good. I think you're absolutely right, though. I know we've said it before, but 4th time, 17th time's the charm. I think right here in Visualize, between Visualize and TIMEZ, I definitely think we have a much closer matchup than Visualize and Minji. I think at least that alone can be true, and we can all agree on that. But then Minji versus corner campers, we're going to get that rivalry, as you said, so I'm so excited to see that. Unfortunately, this was such a short-lived series, but what a great debut from corner campers here, and a very valiant effort from TIMEZ. I want to take things over to Hunter here. Now, coming into this matchup, you begged the question, how is this going to look? Do we feel like we're going to get that sub that's not quite fit into the team with the synergy, or is he going to be someone that has high impact? And so far, you're like, we've seen Red Panda Gaming in all the matches. We saw CJ come and substitute for a team and do an absolutely exceptional job, and we've seen Hunter come in, sub for a team, and top that leaderboard as well. So honestly, just these matches that we've seen out of Group A, I'm looking towards Red Panda Gaming after I'm seeing these substitutes come in and just completely dominate the lobbies like they belong there. I'm really excited to see Red Panda Gaming's debut.
Yeah, as am I. They have some internal conflicts that seem to arise every now and again, and I hope they're able to manage that going forward into VLE. But really, really good looking squad.
Yeah.
I will also say, it's with CJ on that duelist role subbing for Visualize, he's able to to demand that utility. He's able to sort of call for his own things. Hunter onto that fade, he sort of has to allow his teammates to call on him as opposed to him calling on his teammates. I think that's a little bit of a harder role for him to fall into for this sub position.
You're absolutely right about that. And I think it's one of the hardest role to get subs in, and he's filled the shoes very well. And looking at that, folks, I mean, 13-5 dominant fashion. What a way to start for corner campers here. Now, we do have some action later at 10 p.m. EST for you. It's going to be Salvation versus Extra Life. Now, Storch, you and I are casting that one. Now, I'm excited for that one because two teams I have just never seen before. It's their opening match, completely new faces coming into the tournament. And it's actually our first look at Group B because Zeta forfeiting that first match to DSS Gaming. We didn't get to see an opening match for Group B because of that alone, but we get our first Group B opening match later with Salvation versus Extra Life. How you feeling about that one?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I've looked into a bit of the background of the teams. It looks a lot like some default comps. We might see some nice principled gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take on it so far, but we will see. I think going into that match, it's got to be Salvation that I think is going to go forward.
Okay.
I look and I see so many more matches played together, so much more time played together, and just have to expect that the team that's spent more time is going to come out on top.
Yeah, and I think that's a fair expectation. Teams can go into the server, right, and drill themselves, get strategies on the board. But honestly, the success in a round of Valorant, because there's so many variables, actually comes down to that synergy, right? The synergy between the players and what you can actually do in reaction to what your opposition is showing you. And with you saying that they've spent a lot more time together, I can definitely agree with that being a consensus. But I want to see Extra Life, put something up on the board here. They've got their other roster alter ego here in the tournament, and I know there's been a lot of talks about the hype around these squads, so that's definitely going to be a clouded match for sure. I'm really excited to see how those players come out of the gate. But without further ado, folks, we're going to go ahead and end stream here, and we'll be back at 10 p.m. EST.
See you then.